Hi guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate your visiting and allowing me to come into your home. And this day we are going to work on a donut, on how to design it. Many ways to do this. You can weave your wires so that they will go through here and come up, and then you can make the bail. You can make the bail first and then bring them through and then cross them over just to secure, so that you'll have maybe 2 wires going through in the front and 2 wires coming up from the back, and then we'd do some swirlies. This is going to be very organic, I think. I want to just make some swirls, and I might end up adding a pearl to the center or a crystal that will complement this blue. Doesn't this look like an imperial jasper? I love this donut. But it's not a jasper. It's a howlite dyed. But it sure is pretty. So, I've already started this just to see if I can make it look good. This is a large donut. It is 2 inches wide, or around, from diameter. And I wanted some smaller wires, smaller gauge wires. So I took 3 20 gauge, and I did on the outside edges. I have 22 gauge, and I have 28 gauge wrapping, and the core wires are 18 inches just because I want to give myself lots of wire. I don't like to waste wire, but at the same time, I don't want to come short. So I inserted my clamp, 1 inch left of center, which was 9 inches. And I'm going to do enough to cover the circumference of this half of the donut, so that I'll come up from here through, come back up, and then I will secure it and I'll make a bail. But I want to show you how I'm doing this. This is not anything that I've ever seen a YouTube video on, but I'm sure there's one out there. There always is. I'm going to show you how I do it on these chopsticks. I've got 5 chopsticks because I've got 5 wires, and that's key to this design. I suppose you could do it with more, as long as there's a you could do it with an even number too, I guess. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to secure my wire. All right, pretend this is my 22 gauge. This is, again, this is what I'm doing. You can choose whatever wire gauges you want. Just be mindful that when we get ready to do swirls, you want it bendable enough that you can manipulate it easily. So I like to stick with 20 and 22 gauge for that. So I've added 3 core wires, and I'm going to cross it over from behind. And now I'm going to come up, and I'm going to throw in this 5th wire. And I got to get that wire out of the way. And I'm going to wrap it once. And this is a little unwieldy at first, so bear with me here. All right. So now I wrap it around that top wire all by itself, just once. It was a lot easier doing it in here because the wires are held onto and I don't have to worry about it. So now I'm going to wrap 5 times. You can wrap 3 times, you can wrap 10 times, whatever you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to wrap, I'm coming down, going to come up underneath wire 1 and I'm going to wrap around it once. Then I'm going to come behind these 3 wires, wrap it around once, come up between wire 4 and 5, and I'm going to wrap it around once. And now I'm going to come up and then repeat the 5 wires. There's 3, 4, 5. Okay? Repeat, coming back up, wrapping around once. Now I got to capture this top wire again, so I'm going to come up and wrap around it once. And at every point when I get to the end where I've wrapped around once, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my nylon drop pliers, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to cinch this flat to keep these wires from doing this. You don't want them to do that. You want them to stay nice and flat. So while you're wrapping around these wires, don't tug too hard. And I'm also going to compress. So I'll push it this way. So it makes an interesting look. So I'm going to set this up here, get it out of my way. And I'm just going to do this a couple times to show you what it looks like on the wire. And I apologize, this lighting is not the greatest. So I've left off with just wrapping around that top wire. So now I'm going to come back down and I'm going to wrap around 5 times. So there's 1. And I'm just pulling it to straighten it. There's 2. Pushing up. Pulling down, there's 3. 4. 'Oop. Need to back that out. I didn't. Okay, there's 5. All right. I'm just going to give it a little push with my fingernail. So I'm going to wrap it around once. See how that makes it a little delicate, like almost like the thought of a filigree. Okay, now I'm coming back up and I want to capture this top wire, so I need to wrap this around once just to secure this wire, because I don't want it to go, I don't want it to travel all 5 wires. And then that also creates that look of a continuation, because wire is so, this wire is so thin, 28 gauge, you can get away with it and it looks really nice. So here's where I'm going to give it a little pinch and then a smoosh. Isn't that pretty? Now, the idea is that when, well, it's not the idea. When I get this wrapped around through here, what'll happen is these wires, the end wires are going to come through here, and obviously this is all going to be wrapped or woven, however you want to consider it. Then these will get folded up to the top. I'll cinch some of the wires together, probably the 20 gauge, and I'll make the bail next. So let me get to the point where I need to come up here and cinch it, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I've got just about 2 inches, and then I wrapped 5 more times. So I'm going to take this out of the clamp now, because now I need to manipulate it around my stone. Get that centered there. So just holding on to the screw, hitting that butterfly nut, so I can set that aside now. And you can see I've got a little bit of a bend. That's not going to really make a whole lot of difference, because this part probably, well, let me say this. If you want to just make your bail and end up here and finish it, then you want to make sure that this is really nice and straight. So you'll just want to massage it a little bit. Give it some pinches here and there. Get it nice and straight. But I'll probably add a few swirls, and I'll do some more weaving. So I'm just inserting the one end through the hole, and I'm pulling my weaving wire, which is still a considerable length. I usually pull off 12 feet or so that I don't have to keep splicing in wires. But if you're not comfortable using that much at a time, just go with an arm span. It's very simple, and you won't have any problems with that. Or if you want to just do 3 feet, that's fine too. Alright, so here we go. I want this to come up just a hair over that, because it has to bend. See how it has to, and I want it to be kind of like at the center of the top part. So now I'm going to bring this up here. I guess I didn't need that much, did I? Get that pinched back down. I want a nice and tight coil. All right. Since I over wrapped, and you'll end up doing this too. You'll under wrap, so you'll have to wrap more, which is fine. My intent was to secure these wires at the center, at the top, and then cinch them together. Well, secure, that's the same thing. And then make my bail. And I was going to continue on with this weave. So what I could do is I could weave enough to make the bail, bring it down, and then secure it. But at this point, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unravel, and then I'll have to take out my kinks. So let me do that really quick here. And in the bail, normally you want it to be nice and sturdy. So 22 gauge, it'll be all right once it's all woven. But I think what I want to do is I want to take those 22 gauges and move them out. And just do this around the 20 gauge wires. And I'll show you how to do that once I get this unraveled. I need to do a bit more. Probably past this point right here. So I'm going to bend these out of the way. And you see all these kinks in my wire? Not worried about it. I'm going to be very gentle with them. Okay, I'm going to check here. It looks about right. So let me put this back on. One thing you want to consider too is a front and back of your donut. Let's say you like one side better than you do the other. Then make that your focal front. Okay, I think I can handle that. I think that'll work. All right, so now what I need to do is I have about 15 inches of wire on the other end from when I started. Just to give myself something in case I need to do some weaving. And I don't have to splice. But I'm going to take my pliers, and you see how they're all beat up? I'm pretty worn. I need to replace the plastics pretty soon, but I'm a tightwad. I use them until they won't work anymore. See? Now it's nice and straight. So, let's see. We're going to bring the 22 gauge wire. Let me get this out. There. Okay. The 22 gauge wires from the back are going to come to the front. I'm just going to pull them around the stone for now. And then these two are going to go around to the back, and I want to keep that out of the way of the weaving wire. And then this one, well, I'll deal with that later. I'm just going to pull this down right now. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit the camera with my wires. Trying to get you a better angle and a better lighting view. I have a floor lamp that has a bendable neck. That's the only thing I've got for lighting in here. And then daylight, of course. Alright. So I've got 3 wires in front and 3 wires in back. I only need 5. But I could do 6. I'm going to do that. Okay, to cinch, let me splay these out a little so that I can see. To cinch, I'm right in the middle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to the front, and I'm going to come between the 2 right wires. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back down, straight back. And I'm going to push that wire down because I don't want big gaps. And even if I do get a big gap, I can hide it with all this wire. So it's no huge deal if I don't get it perfect. But I like to make it look nice because I want as many options as I can get. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys. So what I did now was I wrapped it around here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up between the top 2 left wires. Get that out of the way. And now I'm going to come back. And now I'm going to wrap around that back wire there. Now I'm going to come up between the top 2. Oh, I snapped it. That's okay. Give myself a good length there. Oh, hang on one sec. I'll get this secure, and then I got to plug my phone back in. I wrapped it around, pulled it back. I'm going to come back around, and I'm going to wrap around that back wire. And I'm going to come back up because this is no longer attached. I pulled too tight on that wire. That's why it did that, which is a shame because I was just being too rough. Coming up, and I'm just doing the same thing as I did before. Okay, I've got my 6 wires here. Now I'm just going to splay them out and get them flat. So we're going to have a 6-wire bail. And I'll deal with these wires in a second. Let me plug my phone back in. Hopefully it'll continue charging. I have a loose plug. I don't know why it does that. So these wires will probably get trimmed away. Get my 22 gauge wires out of the way, and then I need to decide which side I like better. I think I like this side better. It has more interest. Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out which way I want to wrap the bail. I want to make sure that it looks good on the front. And if I have to, well, I'll just wrap. So I'm going to wrap the bottom. I'm going to continue with that weave that I did. Only this time, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 center wires that I'm going to have to wrap around. So instead of 3, it's 4. But remember, on my first trip up, I'm just wrapping once. Wrapping once around the top wire. And now that I'm coming back down, I'm going to wrap 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Try to get them as flat as possible. Give that a little tweak there. I'm okay with them being splayed out because as I pull this wire in, it will pull them up. Okay, there's my 1 trip up. Now I'm going to come back down. 1, 2, 3, 4. See how I am pulling the wire so that it's going to be nice and straight? And then what I do is I hold that there, pull it around, that holds it in place, I pull it down, and there's 5. I'm going to go ahead and give this a... Now I'm going to push it down. Can you see the previous 5 rows are nice and flat, and this one is puffy. If you want to leave that puffy, don't smash it like I'm going to do right here. So now I'm going to come up once around all 3, or all 4, excuse me, because now we're doing 4. Once around the top wire, and then I'll continue on. And I will probably make this about 3/4 of an inch to an inch. I want it to be substantial bail. I don't want a tiny one. because this is a 2-inch donut, I want to make sure that the bail is got an equilibrium to it. I don't want it to look like, oh, that's odd. What's wrong with this piece? So these are things that you need to consider while you're designing. So let me finish that, and when I get back to the point where I want to make the bail, I will turn the camera back on. Okay, I'm back. I've got just an inch and a quarter. So now I'm going to take my larger bail from my bail making pliers, and I'm going to set it here. I'm not going to pinch hard because I don't want to mar the top wires. And I'm bringing it around. And I should have done a little kick here. Let me see where are my other pliers. I'm going to take my pliers here, give that a pinch because I want my weave to be nice and tight. I'm going to kick that out about 45 degrees. So now when I bring this back down, it's going to make a nice connection. And then I can just give that a little bit of a roll. And I can take this out. So here's the beginning. If you wanted to finish that off, you could just make some coils out of the ends of these wires, wrap a couple around there to secure it, and you're done. I'm going to continue on a little bit here. I'm going to figure out which wires I need to trim off. This one. Oh, I don't have any trimmers here. Let's see. So we'll get in here and we'll trim that off there. Give a little pinch down. We don't want to. See if I can get this between these wires here. I don't think I can. No. So what I'll do is I'll just give it a little wrap around this wire here. Since it's got a length to it and I don't want to waste it. Sending it through to the other side, and I'll see if I can secure it to the front piece here. Don't know. Let me get a tool here. If you have this Daisy Viking knit, I use this a lot. This is like the big thumbtack. I use it to straighten out weaves, like when you're doing a corset weave, and I like to use it to poke a hole, try to create one, but be extremely careful, like I'm not doing, because I got my finger down here and sometimes I give it a shove and it pokes me, and then I bleed everywhere. Alright, we'll try one more, and if it goes through, then yay. If not, we'll trim it off, but it did, so we can trim it off here. Just adding security. Excuse me. Alright, now I've got all these wires. What am I going to do? I don't know. This is my weaving wire. I think I'm going to take this one here, and you can use any one of these you want. I'm just going to take this one because I want to keep my options open here for what I want to do with these wires. So I'm going to pull that up like that. I'm going to pull it down. And I'm going to pinch here. And I'm trying to wrap yes. We're going to wrap down so that the coil will come underneath, the next coil will come underneath here. So I gave that a pinch. I'm going to give this another pinch. Every time it makes a corner, I'm going to pinch it because I want it to be nice and snug. I want it right next to that one. Give it a pinch. Kind of like building a house. Do you know what I mean? Oops. Laying the foundation by pinching that and keeping it nice and tight. Am I off camera? I'm sorry. Hang on 1 second. Let me get... Got so excited about doing this and I wasn't paying attention to the camera. Okay, give this a pinch. Pull it around. Give it another pinch. Around. And a pinch. And around. And I think... But I don't know for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it. And I'm going to try to decide what I want to do here. I think I want to do something with the two 22 gauge wires. Let's see, which one's my longer one? Here, this one is my short one. So I'm going to see if I can send that through to the other side. Because I don't need two weaving wires on one side. So this is what I do when I don't know what I want. I haven't drawn anything out. Nothing comes to mind. I just want something organic. Lots of swirls. And I don't want it the same on both, so I'm going to leave this one alone. I may just end up coiling this one, but I think what I want to do on this one is maybe do a... My wire broke off. Sorry, I was like, where did it go? I just had it. I got a kink here, so I'm backing it out. Cleaning it off of my... Oh. Okay. So I kind of want to get the beginning of these wires to at least look like they belong together. Put that one on the outside so that they cross over. Okay, so let's see. Bend that a little bit to that side there. And I'm going to secure the wire up here. 1, 2, 3. And I don't care how many I have here, how many coils I have. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to clip that off. Throw that little piece in the trash. And then cinching that down. Okay. So now up here to where it's going to be a little awkward at first until we get it built up. I think I'm going to continue on with the delicate look of that image of a filigree. So I'm just going to wrap it around the 2 wires once. One, 2, I'll do, oh, I'm off again. Sorry. I'm going to do 5 and then see what it looks like. 3, 4, 5. Get his. See, I use this pad. I try to use this pad as the focal part so I know where to hold my piece while I'm doing the video. But I get too intent. So, I think I like 5 and 1 because that's basically what this was here. So I'm just going to continue on and do just a few sets here. And then I'm going to think about what I want to do. I might want to do a swirl. Do 3. Actually, now I don't want to put a swirl this high up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around. I'm going to bring another wire in. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an S. I'm going to make a small curve here, and I'm going to come around and I'm going to frame it around that part here, and I'm Probably going to end up tucking one of the wires underneath here. But I want more than just 2 wires. I want it to be a little substantial, so I'm going to add 3. But I don't know whether I want to use a 20 gauge or if I want to keep it a 22 gauge to keep it nice and delicate looking there. So, let me see what I can manage here. Bring this around underneath all of that. It's all tucked up in there. Yes, I think this is what I'm going to do. And this wire I'm not going to incorporate all the time, just because I can. I'll just occasionally give it a wrap. Maybe every third one I'll give it a wrap just to keep it connected. So I'll be right back. Okay. I didn't like this weave here. So about the middle, I switched it up so that it is just wrapping around 5, and then I wrap around the 2 bottom ones, and then I wrap around the 2 top ones, and then I wrap around the center one 5 times. So it looks like that. I'll have to do some tweaking here because I don't like the bends in this, but I'm going to, and what I did was, excuse me, on the last set that I thought I needed, I just coiled about, ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch, somewhere between there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these 3 to the back because I don't want all my design to just be on the front. And that's one of the really cool things about having a donut, is because you got more options to play. So I'll deal with those in a minute. I want to get my S curve here. See, I don't like that bend right there. So I'm just going to flatten it down a little bit. I don't like this bend right here. So I'm going to get my micro pliers here. Give it a gentle push in. Just, well, now I overdid it. See if I can, don't lose the thumbtack here. See if I can get this opened up a little bit, just by a gentle prying. And then I'll push it back just slightly. Give that just a little more curve. Okay, I think I like that. So now we're going to turn this around to the back. I'm holding that in place because I don't want it to shift too much. Now I'm just going to give this a curve. I want it, I'm holding that, I gotta get these wires out of the way. I want it to follow at least a little bit, or mimic the curve, the center opening. So I'm just gently bending that see what that looks like. Try to smooth these wires out. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to these. Going to make a little curl right there, I think. Do I like that? Do I like the shape? I think I can deal with that. And now I'll bring this coil around underneath. And I think I need to make a few more coils here. This is 22 gauge wire, so it's a lot more bendy. So you want to just be real gentle, because it can go wonky really fast. So, and then your piece goes south. A few more coils. It's hard. I'm pinching that down, so it's really hard for me to get close up there. See if I can gently push those in. I did it. Just trying to cinch that. Got a little bulge there. So doing this gently takes most of that out. I want to get it back up to here. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So we got a few more to go. Oh, see how that now happens? Really just the slightest little bit, and I don't want that bend in there. So I'm just coiling my 28 gauge wire around the 22 gauge. Let's see where we are at. Okay, that looks good. All right, so now I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to connect these two wires together. Ugh, all these wires in the way. There we go. So I'll just continue with the 5 coils and then once around both. 2, 3, 4, 5. Once around both. 1. I'll straighten these out a little. Up. See, I pulled too hard. So what I'll do is I'll just do a few more here and I'll tuck it underneath there, I think, just to secure this wire so it doesn't go anywhere. But in the meantime, this oval got out of shape. So I'm going to try to give it a little tweak. Let's see if I can, see how this has got too much bend right here, and these are nice sloped here. So what I'm going to try to do is pinch that out, if I can get my pliers in there. That worked a little bit. A lot of this is basically, what do you like? If you like it like this, go for it. Just keep it. But I want a certain look. So this is what I'm going to do until I get that bend right. I don't like it that it's... There, I can live with that. Okay, let me finish this, and then I'll tuck it. I'll come back when I'm ready to tuck it in. Alrighty. I've got enough wrapped, and then I took the rest of my 28 gauge wire and I just coiled it around the outside piece. So now I'm going to feed this through, and if you can't get it, use some kind of an awl or something to pry this open so that you can feed your wire through. That was just a little too much. Ugh. Come on. We can do this. We are the boss, right? I'm going to feed this wire through too. Now we give it a little pull. Okay, now I gotta get that shape right, because I don't. I'm getting off center now. Pull this back a little. I want a nice gentle curve. I don't want any weird wonky shape here. And we're getting there. Straighten that us a little. See if I can give that a gentle push down. Or pull. Yeah, I think that works. Okay, now I'm just going to continue on. I'm going to make another swoop here with this wire. Maybe I'll go up with this coil here. If I follow that, then this has got to be smaller, because I want to make room for the coiled wire. So I think, what if I just ended that there and then tuck it in? I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll tuck it back here. And I'm pinching that coil so it doesn't misshapen at all. Come on. I don't want it to go up all that way. There we go. So now this can follow through, and when that ends, it'll hide behind the wrap. And I don't like that. I need to see if I can get more of it underneath. There we go. Give that a gentle push up, because it was looking too man-made, I guess. And this wire is a little loose. So I'll look at this for a second, see what I want to do with this wire. I'll have to tuck it in somewhere. So I think I'll send it back through here if I can. Give myself some room. There we go. Hold on to that. Grab it. Okay. So I don't know what I want to do with the rest of these wires here yet, so I'm just going to leave them alone and look at the front again. My bail is getting a little crooked, so get it back in there. Give it a gentle push. I think what I need to do is secure this so that I'm going to tuck this underneath here. Give myself a little gap. And I'm going to pull it through here. And I think they just got overlapped, and they did. So I'm going to make sure that that goes back down. Pull. Okay, so that is now secure, and I've got all of these wires coming up this way, and I want to put something here. I've got a 22 gauge wire that I could just coil if I wanted to. I think that's what I'll do. So I'll just give this a coil. And then, let's see. So I'll continue that off camera. And I just bent these this direction. I can easily bend them back one at a time. I don't want to get too big here. So I think what I'll do is just 2 wires. 2 of the 22 gauge wires. This will be a coil. Actually, what I think I'll do is I'll keep these on the back so that I can send them through to the front. And you know, let me get some good cutters, flush cutters. I'm going to cut that end off there. I'm going to go ahead and end this piece. Put that in the garbage can. I'm going to put a little curl in this. And it doesn't matter how I wrap it, because it's, here, I'll just show you. I want it to go this way, but it's more comfortable for me to, that sun is coming in the window and I'm getting a shadow, aren't I? But it's easier for me to do it the right way, turning it clockwise. Get that nice and tight. And I don't know, I guess I could live with it like that. But I don't want it to. I want it to go the other direction. So I'm just going to grab it. Oop, and give it a flip. Continue on coiling it. So now I've got a little tiny coil right there. And I'm not quite sure. Let's see, where's my micro pliers? I'm going to pull that thing up. It's too straight for me. Okay, there we go. I wanted to get that pulled up. Can you see? Can you see how I pulled it up? Now I can go in and I can trim off just a hair. And now it'll be nice and round. Then with my bent nose pliers, I'll smoosh it back into place. There we go. Now it's a little off center, and that's all right. That's part of the organicness of it. I like it. So what I'll do is I'll coil this 22 gauge wire here. I'll get the kinks out of this. I'll wrap something. I can wrap, I don't know. I don't know yet. I guess I will let you know when I get back, when I come back. Okay, see you in a bit. Alright, I'm back. I did a coil on the 22 gauge wire, and I just did a bunch of it. I mean, I nearly got it all done. So I want it to follow that line right there. I don't know whether I want to pull it through yet or not, or leave it on the front. Excuse me. Then I took two of the 20 gauge wires and I don't know what I want to do with them yet. I want to bring them down somehow to get them through to the other side. So before I can do that, I need to address these two wires. So what I think I'll do is bend these up out of the way. And I apologize, the sun is starting to come down, so I may have to just pause this and work on it after the sun goes. So I'm just going to do that. And I don't know if you can see that, but I don't like that coil. It's just a little too oval. So now I'm just going to tuck it in behind. See if I can get it. Let's see, that's too loose there. So I'm trying to squish it down in. That's a little better. Bring this around. I'm just building up layers now here. Not too much left of those, so they'll probably end up getting cut off. I don't know. Don't like that either. Wonder if I can hide a little bit of it. Well, let's just go for it. If anything, we can just back it out and try the other side. The only problem is I want something down here at the bottom on the other side of the donut. Okay. Give this a little bend here. I don't want that at an angle. Kind of straighten that a little bit. See if I can lift this coil up. Can you see okay? I wish you guys could answer me immediately. Well, the good thing is there's so much wire, I can camouflage it with some of the other stuff. So I've got it around the front. Now let's see, what do I want to do with it? And I've got plenty of wire so I can keep coiling if I need to. I don't like that way. What if we just start with a... I'm going to tuck this in here and see what happens. I want it to come out the top though. So I'm going to give this a little bend and see if I can coax it to come up the right direction. Where's my pick? Yay! Slowly pulling, slowly pulling. Okay. Oh, that didn't do what I wanted it to. I'm going to give this just a couple reps because this keeps sliding on me. I want to secure it. That looks like a snake. I don't like that. I don't want my pieces to look like a snake. I want it to look like vines. Is it too bright, guys? I think I should wait. And then I can think about this. I'll wait till the sun goes down. Give me a couple hours. I don't like that either. So, I'm going to go ahead and wait for the sun to pass the window. And I'll sit and look at this for a while. Take a break, get a fresh cup of coffee. And then maybe I'll come back and tackle that and decide what I want to do with it. But here's the back side, or what I decided was the back side. You could, depending on what the person wearing it wants. This will be a two-sided donut, which is what that's my goal. That's what I aim for when I design a donut. And, you know, if I were to do another donut tomorrow, after this one is finished, it won't look anything like this one either. They never come out the same. So my goal here for you is to just show you options of what you can do. I'm sure that you can think of things that I haven't thought of yet, but just try to keep consistent with your weaves as far as, don't put every weave you know in one piece. You want to bring back the same element. Like this is just a miniature element of this thing. This is an element of the center of that. The coil is just a basic coil. And then I've got some raw wire too. I don't like that. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do with that. We'll figure something out. But anyways, I'm going to come back after the sun goes down so we don't have that glare. I want to add a little more to the bottom of this. Definitely need to add something to this. Maybe a little more swoop here. But anyways, I'm just blathering on now. I'm regressing. So I will come back when the sun is past the window. See you in a bit. Alright. We're back. The sun has gone past. It's actually shining in my face now. The side of my eye. I took the coiled coil and I wrapped it around a few times. I brought it up through the veil and I finished it off by bringing down the bare part of it and made a little coil right there. I also just cut off the one wire and tucked it back in. I still have this one here. Still need to hide this a little bit. Do something down here. But I want to deal with this one. I think what I want to do, I could try to make a really tiny wrap, but it's going to make it too convoluted. So what I'm going to do is just bring down a swoop right here. And get my bent nose pliers. Because this is just a little too bent right here. Okay. I'm about center, so I'm going to just bend that like that. And now let's see. I think I'll tuck it up underneath. So I need to get these wires up underneath here like this. And we'll straighten this out in a second. It got a little twisted, so I need to twist it back. Get my weaving wire pulled out. Okay. Straighten this out a little. Don't like that either. Okay, so I need to back this off. Sorry, I hit the cord of the phone. Okay, I think I'm going to tuck this one back through on this side. Let's secure that. Now we see if we can get this a little rounder. Give it a gentle push. And I think I will pull this wire onto this side. Come on. There we go. All right, let's get all these bends out of here. Give this a tuck up underneath there again. I'm going to put a little bend in the end of that to make it, give it a natural curl so it'll come right back up. I want that to come down a little. I'm trying to be really careful. I don't want to mar the wire if I can help it. Okay, let's see here. Where's this coming from? This is coming from behind, so that's a good thing. Let's trim that one off and finish it. Garbage. And I'll take my... These are Lindstroms. They have a really nice tiny point versus my long round nose pliers. See how much, see what the difference there is? So I'm going to put a little spiral right in here. And try to cinch, well, I'll just push it like that. Okay, that is just a little far off the edge, so I'm going to try, see if I can do it. See if I can bring this up a little. That looks good. Now if I hide that, isn't that pretty? I like it. Alright, so I'll get those out of the way. I'm going to coil this. Because I want a little, I got lots of raw wire here. I want to put some more texture right there to add depth when I patina this. You could leave this raw if you want. It's up to you. It's all about what your eye wants. Making your own style, developing your own style. This, yeah, you can obviously try to do this exactly the way I did it. I have no problems with that. I'm not gonna say, you know, you can't do anything without my permission. That's not me. You're going to develop your own style and what you want. Some people like strong, angular looks. Some people like a lot of structure. I don't. That's not my desire. I want something very unique and something very obviously beautiful. But I want the wearer to feel like they are empowered by what they wear. Something original, something that can never be remade. No cookie cutter. I need to go a little bit more, I think. I'm going to give this another little swirl. Let's see. Just need to decide which direction I want to go. I want to go this way. Yes. I'm going to tuck this back underneath if I can, because I have enough wire that I think if I can make a little spiral there, I can embellish around this. Because it's just a little, I don't know how to describe it. that a little smash there. And then this has got to come through as well, so that I can at least snip it off, because I don't think I need any more coiling on that wire. I'm just going to, since this is coiled, I want a bare wire to go around it. So I'm just going to snip that off. Set that aside. Get in there and just cinch that down so that nothing will ever come through and snag anyone. Actually, I think I'll just end up with a spiral here. Give that a ooh, do I have enough? I do. I will tuck this back down. There, that looks good. I kind of like that, and that covers up that awkward looking piece. I'll have to figure out, I want to leave that loose like that. I like that. I want to secure it somehow, so that will help right there, what I just did. I just pulled it up underneath that wire right there. Now I'm going to feed it through to the front. The back is almost done. Okay. So I've got these two wires here. That's securing it. That one is from another piece that's going to come right through here. And I've got lots of coiled wire there. I kind of like that. So I'll bring that underneath this wire. It's still in good place. Okay. I got a little gap right there. I want to get that. Actually, it's right here. I want to fix that. And I'm going to give this one a twist. Ooh, that's pretty. So I'll leave that hanging out there. I think I want to coil this wire here. I'll deal with these later. I like this. This is so pretty. I hope you guys agree. Give that a tuck. Alright, back to this side. This is the side that I need to finish. Yeah, I'm going to coil this wire. So, take my leftover piece here. Another long video, sorry guys. But making jewelry, designing jewelry just takes time. You can't, I can't do a 12-minute video. It's impossible for me. I mean, unless I just did all of the coiling and stuff, everything off. Just took pictures. Excuse me. And I don't have any coffee. Oh. I'll just wrap up everything here. We'll just do this really quick. I know you guys have seen this, so you can just fast forward coiling if you want. I have to say I do like coiling on a 20 gauge better than a 22 gauge because the 22 is so flexible. If I'm coiling a 22 gauge, I like using a 30 gauge wire, which I do have, but I'm just using what I've got here. No sense in throwing this in a bucket when I got it. And there's probably enough to do with the the whole piece. I hope you guys are getting the gist of what I do when I'm designing something, and I'm just bending it the way I like it. And if I don't, I reshape it. So I'm going to follow that one around. Just back it off just a hair. Bring that through again. And when I'm doing this, I'm securing things. I'm just basically making sure that it's not going to go anywhere when I'm done patinaing and tumbling it. I'm going to follow that around as well. Get this coiled, finish it. I'll just finish up the wire and then see what we need to do. This is basically all I do. And a lot of times it takes me a day or two even if I can't decide what I want to do with the wire. I just have to look at it for a while. And sometimes I'm just stumped. It doesn't come to me. There's no inspiration, which is probably one reason why I like to use stones that I am attracted to, because the prettier the stone, the more inspired I am, I guess. I think that's the way a lot of people are, if you ask me. But then nobody did ask me, did they? Okay, I'm going to just bend this up a little bit so that it can get close. Bringing it underneath. Making another spiral. And I think this is where I'm going to part ways with that wire. They're not going to be partner anymore. Oop. Get that. Come down a little bit. Go the other way. I think that looks pretty good. Now we'll do another tuck. And I'm going to just bring that around again. I need to get that tighter. There we go. Bring that back in line. Okay, so let's see where we can go with this one. Can I bring that up? I'm going to give myself a little bend at the end to Try to get it to come up. I want it to come up between here. And it's there. I just can't grab it. There we go. You notice how I always, when I'm trying to get things cinched, I wiggle it back and forth. That's what happens. That's what helps it. Oh, I just snapped that off. I knew that was going to happen, but that's okay. I still got wire here. I'm going to take care of this one. This one I'm just going to snip off and tuck it under. I'm going to give myself a little extra. And then if I need to, I can trim it off more. I'd rather trim off than trim off too much and not have enough. And I'm going to use my little micro pliers here, because they seem to work much better in tight spaces. Yeah, that's a little too long, so I need to snip off just a little more. Mm, 2 millimeters. Pinch that down. Now I want to give them an angle, so I'm going to flatten them out a little bit. Just like that. And then this needs to come back. And I think here on this one, and do something a little different. If I can, I'll show you what I can do. I'm making a point, trying to. Oh, come on. All right. That's not working. So it's coming off, but okay, I don't know when it shut off. My memory is full again. So now it's defaulting to the SD card that I put in yesterday. But what I did was I coiled one of these 2 wires around here, and it's coming back. And now I want to get it underneath these 2 wires. So gotta lift them up a little to get that in there. Get that pulled. Don't know. Don't know. I don't know. Let me, there they are. And I'm going to try to hold that. Get it tucked up underneath those two wires. Come on, little animal. There we go. Give that a push back down. Now I'm marring up that end of that wire so I can't use it. That's alright. We can cut it off right about there. And it shot across my desk and I don't know where it went. Now we can just tuck that right in there like that. That's gone. One wire left. I want to get it up here. Actually, I'm going to put a little spiral right here. And in this particular instance, this one didn't get a purl because I covered up the hole on both sides. I could nestle one right down in there if I wanted. But that's a design element that you can decide whether you want to do or not. This is, I want to get that smaller. There we go. Open this up a little bit. And tuck it somewhere. Let's see, where can we tuck it? This looks good right here. Come on, I want you to come down. There we go. And I just pulled that one, that spiral out, so I got to tuck that back in. This is not secure. So I've got to figure out how to do that. How do I get it secure? How am I going to get it secure? I'm going to pull that through. Ah! I'm going to have to cut that off. I can't do anything with it. So I'll cut it off and just tuck it down in. I may end up just cutting it all off, depends. Okay guys, that's it. What do you think? Get my bail in there. My bail making pliers back in there. Give that a straighten. This is how I design a donut. I just play. Actually, I kind of like this side much better, don't you? Like it. I love it. I want some more of it. But I like this swirly on the top. They're both pretty. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up, like, comment. Let me know what you think. Not quite sure I like that part. I'll think about it. Front, back. This is the back. This is the front. I wish this was Imperial Jasper. But it's a howlite, and it's still gorgeous. It's an absolutely stunning stone. So I hope you join me next time. Bless you all for coming. Thank you so much. And I will see you soon. Bye.